Welcome to the Shiawarma show.
The only show that ain't boring and actually discusses real stuff in complete depth. So fasten your seatbelts and we're not playing, so just get ready.
You ready? Okay. I'm me and she's she. And if you don't know us, that's your problem, not ours.
So let's do this.
So Kath, what are we talking about today then?
Well, that's easy. Today I'm going to be telling you guys the latest fairy tale. So once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away, lived an awfully nasty, nasty fellow.
Oh dear.
Under the burning sun of his desert, he plotted the demise of the three folks.
Oh.
Guess who that is? In all seriousness today, though, we need to discuss Syria and America's attempt to slap yet another false flag chemical attack on President Bashar al Saud. And that's just what? What are we today? It's Wednesday? It's
Wednesday.
Like midweek, and we have one false flag, one call for a grand war, and crazy diplomats at the UN just trying to say that they want to have yet another unilateral war against Syria, of all places. So yay!
Are we still doing this shit? I mean, seriously? Like, Western powers are still trying to capitalize on the same BS, on the BS fabricated war crimes and crimes against humanity so they can deflect from their own? I mean, this is just like, I am just like, you don't understand.
Like Wednesday.
I'm sick of
it's
this.
a Wednesday.
And this is only Wednesday. I mean, the same BS.
I mean, you reach Friday and you're just like really scared because you like, I don't know, nuclear war.
Oh, God. Yeah, nuclear war. We're joking about that, but apparently yesterday or the day before, North Korea launched something unknown, an unknown projectile, I read. But this is the same
I know.
BS.
No, this is crazy though, because look, no, if you want to be rational about this, so for 2 seconds, you have North Korea just launching some, like, we're not quite sure what. We're not quite sure what happened. We're not even quite sure it did happen, by the way. And then nobody's like freaking out over this. But then Syria has an alleged, emphasis on alleged
underlined
chemical attack.
Yep.
And then everybody's freaking out. And then within 24 hours, they want to go to war with Syria, knowing that that would actually basically not open, because open would be nice, completely blow up Pandora's box.
Yep.
And then hope would run away for good.
Yep. It's the same. Look, you know how it is, right? It's the same BS, the same lies, the same same, elephant in the room being missed. So I'm going to ask you to do something for me. I'm going to say, repeat after me. The Syrian Arab army does not need to use chemical agents and weapons against this infernal bunch of cretins called Daesh. For the sake of argument, all right? For the sake of argument, let's just run with this, right? Because, you're going to have some muppet on CNN or Al Jazeera, who's going to say something stupid. So, just for the sake of argument, why is Syria waiting till now to use its arsenal? And more to the point, what if Damascus decided and chose and made a conscious decision to melt those things?
I know what word you were going to use. It starts with the B, and I agree. You should use it.
Do you mean the word that starts with a B and ends in acids?
Yes, exactly that word. Because, I mean, when you're talking about those guys, that qualifies.
Well, they want to be turned into a little mess of rubbish. I mean, are we somehow implying that it's only Western capitals who are entitled to use and have weapons of mass destruction? I mean, let's put this into perspective, all right? Everything in its place. There is only one country that ever dropped a nuke. Now, let's see. Who was it?
Oh, I don't know, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to raise you one. I'm going to raise you white phosphorus in Vietnam. Then depleted uranium in Iraq. Drones in Yemen.
Depleted
drones
uranium.
in Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Don't get me started on depleted uranium.
What else? Hold on. There's rendition.
Yes.
Black sites.
Yes.
I can't even say that word. of torture. Do you know that when they turn it into an institution?
When you mean
institutionalization. Institutionalization or something like that.
Yes.
I'm French, so there you go. I can't say that word. And of course, the beautiful military occupation of all sovereign nations everywhere in the world, because you know what? Free nations are just out of fashion, and we need to be taught democratic liberalism by the United States of America.
So democratic...
yes, we are not amused. Nobody's laughing. I'm not laughing. I hope you're not laughing. And by the way, can I just say that, this chemical whatever attack is really a decoy for very interesting developments in the region. So it's like, would you care, Mr. He, to enlighten us?
Yes. So, while we have our lovely friend, the illustrious Baba, the Pope.
Yeah, the Pope. I forgot about the Pope.
He's saying there, he's expressing his horror at the many casualties in Syria.
But he should.
And
he should. He's the Pope.
Rightly so, right? Because it's only terrorists that use violence. Rhetorically speaking, we have this wonderful gentleman by the name of Recep Tayyip Erdogan.
Known as the Muslim Brotherhood mastermind.
And he's been busy stealing things from Syria, stealing things like land, and let's not forget the small matter of oil.
This is what happened. When stuff blew up in Idlib, right?
Yep.
Then you have suddenly Turkish tanks moving against northern Syria. It's funny how it works.
Exactly.
Because from where I'm sitting, it is as if there is a coordinated effort against Damascus. But that would be crazy, right?
Of course, you can't say that.
That'd be insane, because that would mean that Turkey, who is itself an ally of Western nation and a member of that little thing called NATO,
but
would be in alliance with Daesh. We can't have that, right? Because that would be criminal.
Before you carry on, we must always put a disclaimer in. When we mention Turkey, we have nothing against the little birds that people have at Christmas. We like them.
Oh yeah, not that turkey. No. I'm talking about it's another type of bird.
Yes, the Erdogan bird.
Yes, the one that tries to fit the Sultan's turban on his head, but it's not matching.
That's the one.
That's the one that fits. It just keeps dropping off.
It's a really, really, really bizarre situation. And then of course, there's the small matter of giving these Daesh Saudi lapdog things a new lease of life, courtesy of the United States of America. Remember those safe zones, Mr. Tangerine? Oh, I mean Trump. Remember he was talking about them in February? Well, apparently he's busy building them under our very noses.
Oh, wow. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do now. I actually moved for the establishment of safe zones on 5th Avenue.
I second that.
Okay. And the immediate seizure of all of Trump's corporation's assets.
Can we split them?
I have it. No. Just wait for it. I have it on the really good authority that Mr. Trump has not paid homes for many years, and I'm not having it anymore. That's it. I draw the line. This is my red line.
Come on. Look, Trumpy, he's not a Muslim. He's a Muppet.
What's your point? I thought that was like make it up day. You know what? You neocon undercover agents are just always ruining it for me. Do you know? I mean, seriously, I'm what is it that I'm? I'm a US NATO CIA spy. So it's just like, can I have fun, please? This is so not cool.
See, this is what happens when I let you watch the news. Reason and sanity just go poof out the window.
No. In this case, it was actually the front door.
Oh, whatever. So, what did happen in Syria, girl? It's quite simple, really. Damascus ordered an attack on a Daesh-manned military warehouse that just so happened to house chemical agents. Now, before everyone goes crazy and says, "Oh my God, they shouldn't have done that. The sky's falling, blah blah blah," remember that those chemical agents were in a warehouse controlled by Daesh. They were ready. They were being readied. They were being prepared to be turned into little bombs that will be then thrown on the Syrian and Iraqi people. Now, who's going to complain about that? I'd say that the Syrian government did everyone a good service.
Well, yeah, because look, don't get me wrong. And I know you're not arguing this either. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not arguing or even excusing, civilian death. It's tragic. It's
Absolutely.
always tragic.
Absolutely.
But we need to remember, though, that first of all, Damascus did not ask for any of that crap to actually befall its people and its land and everything else in between. Okay?
Yep.
So what they're doing is an act of self-defense. We need to remember this.
Very much so.
The second thing is that we need to remember that they're actually fighting evil with a capital E. Because
Yes.
you can't look at Daesh and say, oh, I'm going to be throwing roses and ask them to be very nice about it. No, it doesn't work. Those suckers are just chopping people's head off and burning people alive for fun.
When you have Daesh, people need to understand Daesh is the illegitimate offspring of the Saudis and the Israelis. They got together in some random hotel room and did the evil deed, and out came Daesh. And America
I don't
Britain,
even want to know what they've done because, the result is just like, blah.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, can we seriously, like in all good conscience, and I'm not even arguing politics here, I'm not actually asking people to say, do I like Assad, do I not like Assad, because who cares at this point?
Yep.
It's not about liking Assad.
Yep.
You don't have to like Assad.
Agreed.
The people of Syria voted for Assad, now move on, because unless you're Syrian, you have nothing to say on the matter.
Exactly.
But the thing that we're arguing is that, are we seriously arguing non-interventionism against the pestilence of those takfiri devils that Western capitals insist on calling flipping moderates? Because, no, seriously. It's just like, are you kidding me with the ridiculous, like, have you seen the footage? And you have some kind of Hollywoody, like white helmet bugger inhaling oxygen as if I feel sorry for the guy. Like, I don't care. I really don't care what happened to your lungs right now. And who gives a flying monkey how those degenerates fare in battles? Are we serious now? Do you actually asking the public to feel sorry for Daesh militants because, oh, boo-hoo, the chemical agents that they were trying to use against civilians actually backfired and just blew in their faces? Are we having a laugh right now?
It gets better. It gets better than this. Do you know who the Western media quoted in order to corroborate these grandiose claims that President Bashar al-Assad had gassed his own people?
Saddam Hussein?
It might as well have been, but actually it was this individual known as Hassan Haj Ali. Who is Hassan Haj Ali? He is the commander of something known as the Free Idlib Army. So who is this guy? Right? He is a takfiri, Wahhabi, Zionist, nutjob. Right? That's who this guy is. This guy is this dude, this entity, this thing, this chronic waste of air.
I made you say dude. I told you I would make you say the word dude. You just said it.
I did.
You did. I imprinted on you.
Thankfully, I have not made a bet with you on that. But anyway, so this dude, right? He's a wannabe swordsman for Hizb al-Shaitan. He's a wannabe swordsman for what we call the Devil's Army, right?
Yeah, this is what we should call them.
This is what they are, the Jund al-Shaitan.
Yeah.
And, somehow the Western media, the mainstream media, says that we should take this Muppet seriously. I mean...
I know. Can you please quote what he said?
Apparently he told Reuters, everyone saw the plane while it was bombing with gas.
Wow. Did he have a camera ready or something? Did he know, like, when and where and why and how?
I don't know if he had a camera ready, but I'm sure some people out in Hollywood had made some footage for him.
Who is everyone?
Oh, well, we're talking about these...
Baghdadi, Saddam Hussein was there, Gaddafi was there, who else was there?
Oh, let me see now. Oh, yes.
Osama bin Laden was there.
Of course he was there. Even Zawahiri was there. And
what's the name of the other dude? You know, the one with the hook? What was
Captain
his name?
Hook. Hamza.
Was he there? I don't know.
Probably.
Who's everyone? Everyone who?
All of these people, these drug-induced, Captagon-induced nut jobs,
So does it mean that the Grand Mufti just took a trip to Idlib?
Probably.
Saudi Arabia, I'm talking about the
masters in
the Dajjal's reject.
It could be their masters in Riyadh, but should we just turn around and just blame Iran and be done with it?
Well, yeah. It was Iran's fault. You didn't get the memo? Global warming, Iran.
Yep.
America elects Trump to the White House, Iran.
Yep.
Planet Nibiru hitting Al Saud behind the ears, Iran. I mean, seriously, like I'm telling you, Iran is like one awesome power because all this plotting in the shadows, and yet, and this is where it gets really good, not a drop of blood on its hands.
Damn, they're good.
I mean, it's almost, and I'm just saying, it's almost as if Iran was being set up and demonized for being the only rational power in the playground. But, I mean, what the hell do I know? Because I'm just a mammal, right? As far as the Saudi are concerned, I just don't have a soul. So, I can't.
It's
I'm not
okay.
actually even sure that I'm
I believe that you
right
have a
now
soul.
because I don't know if women have a voice.
I believe that you have a soul. I'll testify that. Look, trust me, I know she has a soul. I don't give a shit what the Saudis say. They can go beep beep.
Well, I don't even because it's not. Wahhabistan.
Yeah, Wahhabistan. Yes. We're no longer saying Saudi. We're saying Wahhabistan.
Wahhabistan.
So now we're going to play a short segment from RT.
Yeah, because RT, believe it or not, I mean, I don't care what Washington is saying, is like is one of the few mainstream media that actually doesn't vomit crap 24/7.
Yes, and a lot of them vomit crap. So here you go. Kudos to RT.
Videos have emerged from Syria claiming to show victims of a chemical attack on a militant-held town. We can show you one of them now, although we can't independently verify its authenticity. The incident reportedly took place in Idlib province in the north of the country. Activist groups with links to militants claim at least 58 people were killed. Both Russian and Syrian governments have denied accusations of their involvement with the attack.
But a lot of people watching or reading the news this morning may be led to believe that the perpetrator behind this attack is already known, with some major media outlets pointing the finger at Russian or Syrian government forces.
The group is saying either Syrian government or Russian planes carried out the bombing in Idlib.
And we have seen a pattern of Assad and his allies using indiscriminate attacks against civilian targets.
Well, the Russian Ministry of Defense has already denied that its planes were flying in the area at the time of the attack. Just last month, UN investigators issued a report stating that there was no evidence to link Russia to any specific crime committed in Syria.
You have to ask the basic question, what would be the motivation of Assad, particularly at this moment in time when he is making great victories, sweeping across Syria in the fight against the rebels? What would be the motivation at this particular time to attract the condemnation of the world's community by carrying out this kind of attack, which actually also, I would say from a military perspective, is of very little military advantage? What would be the motivation? And the people who benefit, of course, from this kind of attack are the rebels themselves, because they gain a major political advantage at a time when they are struggling both strategically and geopolitically. What we need, of course, is an independent investigation, and that would establish the facts from the ground and would be able to make a definitive conclusion.
So, can we exercise some reason here for a second and be a little bit sensible and realize that this new, conveniently timed outburst of grief, terrible grief, oh, my heart bleeds, for the Syrian civilians is nothing but a ploy to rally public opinion against Bashar al-Assad, President Bashar al-Assad, and the axis of resistance.
And make a case for war, for stupid war against Syria and the rest of the Middle East.
Absolutely. And on that note, we bid you farewell for this particular segment, and we'll speak to you shortly again in the next one. Thank you very much. So, Kath, what now?
You would like to know. Seriously, though, I want to open the festivities with Al Khalifa idiotic remark, yet again, surprise, that President Trump understands Bahrain crisis much better than Obama. So there you go. And then after that, I want to move on really quickly to Theresa May, because I don't want to leave you not being scared.
Hey, look, we love Theresa May here.
Yeah, she's our very own unelected prime minister. What's your problem?
Absolutely.
And she's actually having like a full-on love affair with Wahhabistan, also known as Saudi Arabia. Okay. I mean, full-on.
Hey, so now that's a lot of crazy in like one sentence.
I know, because you have like Al Khalifa, Theresa May, and you're like, it's a remake of The Exorcist. So do you understand what I actually have to put up like every day. This is my life.
Awesome.
I have to just put stuff in my brain that just says Theresa May, Khalifa and Saud, and it actually hurts. It's painful.
Yep, I can imagine.
So at this stage, and I'm super serious, I'm thinking Botox. That it's not going to cut it anymore. It's not going to smooth those lines. So I'm actually thinking full body transplant at this stage, and maybe like coming back as Angelina Jolie, and then I'm just going to take over the United Nations.
I thought you already did that. I mean, the United Nations thing.
Wait, yeah, I did, didn't I? Yeah. So don't mind me then. I did that. So there you go.
So. What's his face? That clown Al Khalifa. That the overweight Najdi clowns. Those Muppets. Yeah. They insist. This is funny though. You have to admit. They insist. They say yes. We're Bahraini. When really everyone knows they're not. And the debate is actually still open as to whether they're actual human people. Never mind Bahraini nationals.
David Icke, like I said, has a theory.
David Icke.
And I used to think that he was completely bonkers, but then now I'm actually reviewing my statement, thinking, yes, lizards do exist. They live among us, and the truth is definitely out there. I mean, as far as Al Khalifa is concerned, definitely. I mean, they're not Bahraini. I'm not sure they're Khaliji. They are mammals, that's for sure.
And the jury is out on their humanity.
Now, the humanity thing, I think, has long, it's just like that bird just went
gone?
like, poof.
Yeah, it happens. So anyway, this clown, he's been flirting with the Trump so that he can get a little gold star on his little forehead.
What is going on? I mean, you have Theresa May, now Trump. I mean, what's up? Am I missing something here?
Well, it's all about
a lot of flirting going on. I mean, I don't think it's halal.
But the thing is, right? Can you feel the love? That's the important thing.
That's my problem. Like I said, not halal. I mean, there are ways to halal it.
There are ways.
They don't do that. They don't. They refuse.
No. They don't do that sort of stuff. That's like no.
No, somebody cancelled it. I can't remember his name now, but you know who.
Let's
he cancelled it.
So anyway, so these guys are, they're flirting with Trump. It's almost like they want to get this. Like I said, they really feel like.
You mean temporary married? Yeah, they want to do that.
Yes, but they won't call it that.
They'll
call it something else. Not. But they want to get this golden little star. They want to do this little demographic remapping project in Bahrain. And, they're really flirting with Trump to try and pull this off. And Theresa, of course.
Well, speaking of demographic remapping, can I just quickly say that I'm actually really, 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 really mad, and I do that a lot. I know I do that a lot, but I'm actually really angry with the Western press because they've been fanning. Actually, at this point, it's not even fanning. It's like full-on hurricane, blowing sectarianism, and using disgusting and despicable adjectives.
Oh dear.
To try to redirect the narrative and to try to just, set some very dangerous dynamics. So if I can just read you this deplorable attempt at journalism that Reuters actually just did, talking about the whole, Bahrain situation. So I'm quoting, and I'm just, trust me, like my mouth is actually just like foaming. So I read, the Sunni-ruled kingdom accused Iran, a Shiite theocracy across the Gulf, of radicalizing and arming some members of its Shiite Muslim majority population, and Gulf monarchies, say Obama, did not do enough to tackle perceived meddling by Iran in Bahrain and in wars raging throughout the region. So, to which I say, who the hell are we kidding here? I mean, seriously, first of all, Iran is not a theocracy. Iran is a republic. It's in the name. Okay?
Absolutely. It's the Islamic Republic of Iran.
It's a republic. Yeah. And it's governed by the system set forth by the Prophet Muhammad. So you want to review that statement about the theocracy. Second, don't you bloody dare to try to frame Bahrain revolution as a battleground in between Sunni and Shia Islam, because this is just not. So just help me.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. The whole Bahraini revolution, it's not sectarian. That argument is gone. You know, the days of that argument are over there somewhere. I mean, let's be serious. Like, come on, we need to use our words carefully here. Since the mainstream, it keeps insisting on using certain adjectives, let us, we use the right ones. For example, Al Khalifa, they don't qualify as Sunni or Sunni or anything like this, right? Sunni Islam does not call for wholesale bloodshed of a minority, a religious minority or an ethnic minority or whatever.
Or any religious, any religion, by the way.
Exactly.
So it's just full stop, you just don't do it.
Exactly. But you know why? Because Sunni Islam bases its laws on what? On the Quran and the Hadith.
No way.
It might be a little bit different here and there from, Shia Islam, but let's not split hairs. This is just a technicality.
Yeah, but end of the day, same book.
Exactly.
Because there is no other bloody book.
Exactly.
And there is no secret book hiding behind the closet, under the mosque. Somewhere that you just pulled out on during Muharram or something. It doesn't happen. It doesn't exist.
No, and we will vouch for that in Muharram. We will have full disclosure on all of the Muharram stuff in Muharram.
And the light will stay on the whole time, I promise.
Yes.
Because some people are allergic that sometimes the light comes off and then, stuff happens, Ginny come out of the closet and then have a party or something.
Yes.
Like it's karaoke night.
But also,
people start singing, we don't know.
But also, right, why reduce Iran to just one adjective? Shia.
Because they don't have any other. Don't know.
Because honestly, like you and me both know, right? And a lot of the viewers, the listeners, I'm sure they know that Iran is a lot more than just one adjective. A lot more.
But come on, that would actually require mainstream to not be ethnocentric in their mindset. That's not going to happen like ever. Because this is the thing. It's not like they need a dictionary, because we don't need to actually have a fundraiser and just, send, I don't know, Washington, London, Paris, whatever, like in dictionary. No.
Mm-hmm.
It's meant to be this way. So whenever it's just, suddenly, for example, if you take Yemen, just 2 seconds.
Yep.
Suddenly, I don't know what happened in 2011 or 2000 and what was around 13, 14 when the resistance kind of like really stepped up.
Yep.
Then suddenly they discovered that half of Yemen is Zaidi. Again, newsflash for you, it's been like this for like a few centuries.
Yep.
But suddenly you had like, let's go and slap the adjectives. But when they talk about Hadi, who's now have turned Sunni for some reason, no, we don't use the adjective. So it's, and sometimes I even saw written, and that was actually quite funny, Zaidi Shia rebelled backed by Iran, Houthi fighters. And I'm like, wow, my brain is hurting right now because you are using many adjectives. So can you imagine if we turn it around and do the same for Trump?
Oh, God.
Neocon, psycho, crazy, power-hungry, money-making entrepreneur machine for neoconism everywhere in the world.
Let's not forget Tangerine.
I forgot the color orange. Yeah, it's just that actually, to be fair with you,
go on.
Maybe there's a lesson in the color that he's wearing on his skin because he's maybe trying to match a jumpsuit that he's desperately trying to jump into.
As a wise man, maybe. But one time, a wise man said something, and it's really, really important what he said. It's quite surprising and interesting. He said that as we argue, as in the Muslims, as we keep arguing on whether we need to fold our hands or leave them by our side during our prayers, the enemy is busy trying to chop them off. Oh,
I see what you've done here. You quoting Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and I knew it, you are one of those wilaya boys.
Damn, I got 3 words for you, girl. Pot, kettle, and what's the last one? Black.
Oh, khalas, you got me. See, right. I was on the cover, but then down, it's just like, khalas, it's a coming out party.
So, now that we've established that, right? We've established just how insane you are.
What, me?
Well, we are. All of us.
That's me.
Let's talk about young Theresa May, shall we?
Oh, yeah, of course, we know you want to do that. The gorgeous Theresa May and her Najdi adventures. Let's do that.
Najdi adventures. This sounds exotic. What's Najdi adventures? Do we need some Arabian Nights type stereotypical music?
I said, bring on the, what is it that, bring on the drums and the trumpets and everything. The elephant, I want some camels. I mean, come on.
I'm getting a little bit scared over here now. So,
Don't be.
It's all good, it's all good. So, what else has she been doing? What did Theresa May do?
The usual for her, because for her it was another it's a normal week in the life of Theresa May. So she's been doing a little bit of polishing.
But hold on, isn't Theresa May going through this big Brexit divorce madness thing right
Yeah,
now?
but you're taking my lines now. I'm getting there. Just zip it.
Okay.
So like I said, a lot of begging, and then a full-on ego massaging session, so that itsy-bitsy princes in Saudi Arabia, Wahhabistan, would continue to bankroll Great Britain through its European divorce. Because Theresa May is getting divorced from the EU, and therefore Britain needs money because, I don't know whether it needs to pay alimony to someone. Maybe there's some, kids that haven't been declared. I have no idea what's going on. But basically, Britain needs money desperately. And then, of course, it went across the pond to Saudi Arabia to just ask for it.
I'm actually scared now. This is actually quite frightening. This sounds like a very traumatic divorce, and she sounds a little bit crazy.
Well, you should be scared because Miss May is essentially pawning Britain to Al Saud. So she might as well plant that flag, and I'm talking about the green flag with the two swords crossing. On Buckingham Palace, and just call it a day, and just go home and just say, there you go.
Damn, that's bad. That's real bad. But you have to say, right? You have to admit that it's kind of cute, though, really, isn't it? It's cute how she's attempting to cover her little tracks. I mean, she told the press. I don't know if you picked this up, but she told the press that she would, in inverted commas, stand up for both human rights and Britain's national interests. As if we believe that Britain gives I'd say something else, but, 2 cupcakes, because they're nice, about human rights, human decency, about ethics. I mean, all Britain has ever done is to lead Al Saud and these psychos and these nutjobs, these megalomaniacs, against, for example, Yemen, Iraq, Syria, and moderates in Syria. Let's go there. Let's talk about the moderates in Syria, maybe, because the ones with chemical weapons now, apparently.
No, but they're the nice guys. No, chemical weapons are good when they they're being used against civilians in the Middle East, because when they're being used somewhere else, it's just a crime against humanity and freedom everywhere.
Oh.
But here's the thing. Because maybe I'm hearing things, or maybe I'm full on crazy because, I'm non-Captagon, therefore everything looks normal to me. But I think that Theresa May just rationalized war crimes and crimes against humanity in the name of, wait for it, liberal capitalism.
Go liberal capitalism.
Yeah, for sure, because that's awesome. So this is exactly what happens when you sell your soul to the dollar.
Not
so there
pound.
you go, you have it. So now you have one unelected state official that goes and just, I don't know what she's done, but she's in Saudi Arabia. I'm actually surprised they let her in.
Well, she's...
Seriously, how's that working? Because she's a woman. They can't talk to women, can they? They can't sit with them.
But...
They're not full-on human beings. She's a mammal. So where is it that, are they receiving her in a camel farm or something, and then she's just blending in?
No. The thing is that she is the Theresa May. So she doesn't classify as a woman.
Oh, you mean she wears the pants and then they just pretend she had some kind of a gender reassignment thing?
Maybe she wears a fake beard.
Maybe she's a dude.
Maybe she is. The jury's out. If you know whether Theresa May is actually a dude or not, put something in the comments below.
Maybe she went to school with Cameron. And then, when they have those, those things that they do in the dead of night?
I'm trying not to.
Someone held a pig and then she just had a gender reassignment surgery thing.
Or maybe she became the pig.
Oh my God.
Let's just not go there. Let's not go there.
Let's just stop.
And on that fun note, we bid you farewell, Shiawarma listeners.
I don't think anyone wants to listen to you anymore after that one.
Anyway, we shall see you all, God willing, on the next episode. Thanks a lot, and keep loving the Shiawarma. Keep loving the Shiawarma.
Until next time, you guys.
Take care.
یکی از ابزارهای دشمنان ایجاد تفرقه است بین ما. من اصرار دارم بر این موضوع تکیه کنم، تأکید کنم. برادران، خواهران، مسلمانان دنیای اسلام، اگر این صدا به گوش شما خواهد رسید، اون روزی که کلمه سنی و شیعه در ادبیات آمریکایی ها پیدا شد، ما نگران شدیم. اهل نظر همه نگران شدن. سنی و شیعه با آمریکا چه ارتباط داره؟ فلان سیاستمدار یهودی صهیونیست آمریکایی که جز شرارت علیه اسلام و مسلمین از او ممکن نیست سر بزند، او چه کار داره که بیاد بین سنی شیعه در دنیای اسلام قضاوت بکنه؟ راجب سنی یک چیزی بگه، راجب شیعه یک چیزی بگه. از وقتی ادبیات سنی و شیعه در کلمات آمریکایی ها ظهور پیدا کرد، اینجا کسانی که اهل فهم و دقت بودن نگران شدند. فهمیدن که یک کار جدید در شرف انجام است و تحقق پیدا کرد. ایجاد جنگ بین شیعه و سنی سابقه دارد. انگلیسی ها در این کار ماهرند. ما سوابق زیادی داریم، اطلاعات فراوانی داریم از گذشته ایجاد دعوا و اختلاف و کینه بین سنی و شیعه که به وسیله عوامل انگلیسی چه در اینجا، چه در دولت عثمانی سابق، چه در کشورهای عربی به وجود می آمد برای اینکه اینها رو به جان هم بیاندازند. لکن نقشه‌ای که امروز آمریکایی ها در این زمینه دارن نقشه خطرناکتری است. طرفداری از فرقه‌ای در مقابل فرقه دیگر در درون دنیای اسلام، آیا این ما رو خوشحال میکنه؟ اگر از ما طرفداری کردن ما باید خرسند بشیم؟ نه، ما باید غصه‌دار بشیم. ببینیم ما چه نقطه ضعفی در ما دیدند که میخواهند از اون نقطه ضعف استفاده کنند و ابراز طرفداری از ما میکنن. اینا با اصل اسلام مخالفن.